Here's your latest update on Tropical Storm Nicholas. There has been a change in the forecast. There's been a shift in the track toward to the left or to the west. There's also been a small hurricane watch added around Matagorda Bay, basically areas south of Sargent. The tropical storm watch has been made a warning down the coast from Freeport, and it remains just a watch from Freeport to High Island. Heavy rain flood threat persists, but it's uncertain, really, exactly where the heaviest rain will be. Right now, the greatest threat for the coastal counties, but it may extend inland, especially with the change in the track. Here's a look at that new track, and you can notice the change. It's a bit further down the coast and tracks more inland. Another thing I want you to notice about the forecast cone here is how the dots become closer and closer spaced. That's the center of the circulation slowing down inland. So what does this all mean? What it means is a track on the right-hand side of this cone would spend more time over water and could even intensify into a hurricane, Category 1. Or perhaps the storm takes more of a left of center track and it goes more quickly into South Texas and tracks inland and weakens. So there's still a lot to be figured out here. Hurricane Center was not able to get a consolidated center to the circulation looking at the Hurricane Hunter data. So that's why there's shifts, and the forecast could shift again until a well-defined center forms. Here's a look at the satellite. You can see that cluster of thunderstorms there over the southwest Gulf. Pretty broad area, a low pressure system broadly, but no really well-defined center just yet. So this lack of organization has made the track difficult. Taking a look at our wind probabilities, you can see again a change here, more of a focus on the Matagorda Bay area for those tropical storm force winds. Although the percentages are still 40 to 50%, even further east toward Galveston and Galveston Bay. But there is more of a zeroing in now of those southwest counties for the highest probability of tropical storm force winds. The time arcs give an idea of when those winds arrive. And you can see these times actually have sped up a little bit compared to earlier. Tropical storm force winds most likely arriving tomorrow afternoon down near Matagorda Bay, and then tomorrow evening a little further inland and up the coast around Galveston Bay. So really only in 24 to 30 hours, we may see those higher winds, especially down the coast where those higher probabilities are. Looking at the 58 mile per hour sustained wind area, you see even more of a focus there down in the Matagorda Bay area, and then a little bit further south from there toward Rockport. The probabilities of 58 mile per hour winds, only 5 to 10% for Galveston Bay. Now, all this could change with a stronger storm and a further east track, so bear that in mind. But this is based on the latest forecast from the Hurricane Center. There has been a change in the storm surge watch. It's been made a warning, basically south of Jamaica Beach, to include Matagorda Bay. That's closer to where that center is now forecast to track. It's been kept a watch up around Galveston Bay, where the chances are not quite as high as for significant surge at this point. On the right-hand side, the Hurricane Center is drawing in different areas where they expect higher surge, perhaps 3 to 5 feet around Matagorda Bay, 2 to 4 feet around Galveston Bay. And we'll get into a little more detail on that now. Here's a look at the wave model guidance. We've been looking at this all week, and you can see not a whole lot of change. We still are expecting tomorrow's tides to be somewhat elevated, but even higher as we go into Tuesday night. That's when we have this maximum tide around Galveston Bay entrance, up in the certainly 3.5 to 4 foot area, but perhaps even up as high as 4.5 feet. And so that's what this is showing us. Increasing water levels starting tomorrow. And this timeline may creep up a little bit given the faster arrival of tropical storm force winds. So I would expect to see some minor coastal flooding around times of high tide starting tomorrow, but especially Tuesday and Tuesday evening. Similar timeline for Freeport. You can see the peak that stands out here is the Tuesday night peak. So that gives you a little information on timing there. Rainfall, you can see this is a bump up from what we saw earlier. We did brief verbally 15 to 20 inches potentially, and you see that on the maps now from the Weather Prediction Center. This is falling really starting tonight and tomorrow morning, but the main heaviest rain will come with the system as it tracks across the area Monday night and Tuesday. Now, this heavy rain area pattern could shift, especially if the track continues to shift west. You would expect some of these higher values to make it more inland, and perhaps more of the northwest counties would be impacted. But you can see this is a very considerable amount of rain, that can cause severe impacts if this were to verify. Very dangerous situation. Best for everyone to stay off the roads during the peak of this event. Weather Prediction Center also reflects this now in their flash flood messaging. This is the flash flood risk for Monday and Monday night. And you could see that instead of just slight, they've added a moderate risk to include areas, basically the southwest part of our forecast area. Those coastal counties will first see that rain from Nicholas tomorrow evening. And then for really much of the area, the southern half of the forecast area, in a moderate risk, including Houston, on Tuesday. So that could be the wettest day, the highest rain rates. Now, the rain we get tonight and tomorrow will sort of set the stage for this heavier rain coming in Monday night and Tuesday, perhaps saturating the ground somewhat. So that's what we're facing the next 2 or 3 days at least, this period of heavy rain and flood threat. So just to sum up, significant flash flood threat, especially coastal counties, but there is a threat inland as well. And given the uncertainty in the track, look for the expansion of those flash flood watches to include more inland counties. We're looking at that now. Those changes may be coming this evening. Tropical storm watches and warnings are in effect for coastal areas, although the warning now and the hurricane watch is focused more down south of Freeport, south of Sargent, toward Matagorda Bay. There's less of a chance of tropical storm force winds as you go up the coast toward Galveston, for example. Could change if the track were to shift to the right, then that threat may come up again. So there's still uncertainty, unfortunately, in the track of this thing. Elevated surf and tides, mainly Monday and Tuesday. Coastal flooding possible around times of high tides. You saw the maximum peaks were during the day on Tuesday as that system crosses the area. Primary concern for rivers right now is the San Jacinto, Harris County bayous, the San Bernard, and the Lavaca Navidad river basins. And tributaries of these rivers will also be a concern, and we'll have more on the rivers tomorrow. Katie will be speaking to that tomorrow. Hopefully the confidence in the rainfall forecast will increase by then, and we can give more detailed river projections. As far as confidence, it really has not come up today. In fact, we still have the uncertainty, unfortunately, but we think by tomorrow we should be in much better shape with a well-defined center that we can really rely on the models a bit more. High confidence in heavy rainfall somewhere, most likely the coastal counties, but that threat may extend inland. And so where we get those heavy rainfall bullseyes is still a little bit uncertain.